Over the past few days, screenshots of classified US and NATO military information about Ukraine have been circulating on social media. Are these classified documents authentic? What else is in these documents? I'm Sina. Welcome to Factstyle. These leaked documents, which should have been highly classified, have revealed new details about Ukraine's combat capability, potential vulnerabilities, and wide-ranging assistance provided by NATO. Although there are different opinions regarding the authenticity of the information disclosed, the Pentagon has started investigating the source of the leaked documents.
Pentagon officials are scrambling to assess the fallout after dozens of classified intelligence documents were leaked, and they are not the only ones looking for answers, with Congress demanding a briefing from the Biden administration.
U.S. officials admitted the documents are real slides, part of a large daily intelligence deck, but it appeared the documents have been edited in some places. Because many of the leaked documents relate to the Russia-Ukraine conflict, such as the rate at which the Ukrainians are expanding munitions using U.S.-provided rocket systems, anticipated weapons deliveries, and troop and battalion strength, the Ukrainian side quickly denied the authenticity of the documents. One Ukrainian politician said these documents are fictitious information and have nothing to do with Ukraine's real plans. Now, I don't know whether these leaked documents are completely genuine or not, or if they have been edited in some places. All I know is the US government obviously doesn't want these screenshots disseminated online. That's why its Justice Department has launched an investigation into the leak of these sensitive Pentagon files. The disappearance of the original copies prompted the speculation that the Pentagon was trying to get platforms like Twitter to remove posts containing the documents. Twitter CEO Elon Musk even commented under a post, "Yeah, you can totally delete things from the internet. That works perfectly and doesn't draw attention to whatever you were trying to hide at all." So is there really something that the Pentagon tries to hide at all? Let's talk about those mysterious numbers presented in these leaked classified documents.
The Pentagon has said they're legitimate, but also altered. They said it was altered in a way to overstate Ukrainian losses and to downplay Russian losses.
So here are some figures. The document says that Ukraine had suffered over 71,000 troop deaths, whereas about 16,000 Russian soldiers have been killed in action. But these figures contradict what the Pentagon and other analysts have estimated. They say that Russia has suffered far more casualties, about 200,000 killed and injured, whereas Ukraine has just over 100,000 casualties. The document also offers important clues in terms of the expenditures rate of HIMARS, American-supplied high-mobility artillery rocket systems. In fact, the Pentagon's never publicly said how fast the Ukrainian troops are using the HIMARS munitions, but it has been pointed out by the leaked documents. Furthermore, America once promised it would supply Ukraine with great systems and relevant training to enhance its combat capabilities.
For every system that we provide, we're going to train troops on that system, but we're also going to give them additional training on maneuver, on the integration of fires, on sustainment, and on maintenance. And so with that additional capability, better trained troops, platforms that can perform a lot better in this environment, I think they'll have a real good chance at making a pretty significant difference on the battlefield.
And it certainly did, according to these leaked documents. One document contains a summary of 12 combat brigades, with 9 of them being trained and supplied by the US and other NATO allies. That's about 40,000 Ukrainian soldiers. The document also lays out the total equipment needed for 9 brigades, which were more than 250 tanks and over 350 mechanized vehicles. I wonder how deep the US and NATO could have been involved in the Russia-Ukraine crisis, with Ukraine receiving billions of dollars in military aid. Who is truly fighting Russia? Ukraine or the US and NATO?
Something which they've been very careful to do and maintain throughout, because they don't want to fit into Vladimir Putin's narrative of Ukraine being a NATO versus Russia war. It's a Ukraine aided by members of NATO with munitions.
But it's fair to say it's a proxy war, isn't it?
That is certainly an interpretation. It's probably not too far from the truth.
So, proxy war is certainly not too far from the truth. And no wonder we could have now classified documents leaked, detailing secret American and NATO plans for building up the Ukrainian military ahead of a planned offensive against the Russian troops. But these documents are not just about spying on Russia, but also on many other countries. China, Egypt, Iran, South Korea, Israel, Turkey, Haiti, and Hungary. They are just some of the countries that appeared in the leaked documents under close surveillance of the US. And you may have noticed that South Korea, Israel, and Hungary are America's close allies. The document reveals a sensitive conversation between high-level South Korean officials on whether to sell weapons that could be used in Ukraine. They're believed to be South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol's senior advisors, and they are torn between US pressure to send ammunition to Ukraine and their policy not to arm countries in conflict. One of them even suggests sending the shells to Poland instead.
The alleged discussions are not that revealing, but what's more concerning here is the fact that they might have come through eavesdropping.
We believe that if it's true, it would be a very disappointing situation that damages the trust-based alliance between Korea and the US.
It's also led to questions about how the security-conscious administration of President Yoon Suk-yeol could allow itself to be spied upon, and whether his decision to move his office away from the traditional Blue House compound allowed a security lapse.
But tapping on a national leader's phone is no news to the US. Back in 2013, then German Chancellor Angela Merkel's mobile phone was allegedly monitored by the US, and so are the emails and phone calls of then Brazil President Dilma Rousseff, according to secret NSA files leaked by the US whistleblower Edward Snowden. Same for Israel. After leaked documents appeared to suggest that the US had spied on some of its closest allies, the Biden administration tried to reassure Israeli officials that everyone is fine. But this is not everything. There could be more disclosures.
U.S. officials have not ruled out the possibility of even more leaks. Right now, they're looking for clues that could help them narrow down the pool of potential suspects.
So let's face it. It's fair to say that the US has a giant surveillance network all over the world, on the threats it perceives, also on its friends as well. As a Washington Post article pointed out, Americans' appetite for intelligence on friends and adversaries alike is well known to foreign governments, and should they ever forget, periodic leaks of classified information serve to remind them. Will this incident become the next Snowden 2.0? Are the leaked documents telling the truth? Should the people in other countries accept the US surveillance or resist it? In fact, is this revelation possibly telling us that there are different opinions inside the US government on Russia-Ukraine crisis? Don't forget, the Snowden incident happened when there was a huge divide between NSA and the US government. So leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. Alright, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you like our show, remember to click like and subscribe. I'm Sina. See you next time.